Picture this scenario and stay with me because it matters more than you might think. Two neighbors living on the same quiet street, both faithfully preparing the same meal for dinner almost every evening. They slice up fresh vegetables, toss them together, and believe with complete sincerity that they're investing in their health. One of them continues thriving, feeling energetic and stable, but the other, despite eating the identical meals, notices something troubling within a few weeks. Her legs are swelling by evening, her ankles retain the impression of her socks long after she removes them. She feels persistently fatigued in a way that rest doesn't seem to resolve. When she visits her physician, the lab results reveal the uncomfortable truth. Her kidney function has declined more rapidly than expected, her creatinine has risen, and her physician is deeply concerned. The very vegetables that protected one neighbor's health were quietly accelerating kidney damage in the other. This scenario plays out regularly in medical offices, clinics, and emergency departments worldwide. The explanation for why this happens isn't mysterious, but it remains largely misunderstood by people outside the medical field. When your kidneys begin to struggle, the entire landscape of nutrition transforms fundamentally. The foods that benefit healthy people can become liabilities for those with compromised filtration capacity. I'm Dr. William, and I've dedicated my career to understanding the intersection between dietary choices and organ health, particularly when it comes to kidney function and how what we eat either supports or undermines our long-term well-being. If you're navigating questions about kidney health, wondering how your diet might be affecting your filtration capacity, or concerned about how to protect your kidneys as you age, you're in exactly the right place. I want to share something that genuinely matters today, something that could reshape how you think about vegetables, health, and the true cost of following generic nutritional advice when your body has entered a different phase of life. Together, we're going to explore 3 vegetables that research consistently demonstrates can genuinely ease the workload on struggling kidneys, supporting their capacity to filter waste and protect your cardiovascular system. And then we're going to examine 3 vegetables that, despite carrying a powerful health halo in popular culture, can cause measurable harm to kidneys that are already vulnerable. One of the vegetables on the protective list is something you've probably walked past countless times in the grocery store without giving it a second thought. It's affordable, humble in appearance, and almost miraculous in what it accomplishes for kidney health. Let's begin this important conversation. Understanding why kidney disease rewrites the rules of nutrition requires grasping what kidneys actually do and what happens when that function deteriorates. Think of your kidneys as your body's most sophisticated filtration and regulation system. Every single day, without pause, they process approximately 180 liters of blood. That's roughly 48 gallons of blood filtered daily just to remove the waste products that accumulate from normal cellular activity. Substances like creatinine and urea, byproducts of protein metabolism that your body cannot use and must eliminate, flow through your kidneys. Beyond waste removal, your kidneys perform an even more delicate function. They maintain the precise balance of fluids that your cardiovascular system needs to function. They carefully regulate the minerals circulating throughout your bloodstream, ensuring that potassium, phosphorus, sodium, and other electrolytes remain within the narrow ranges your heart, bone, and blood vessels require. When chronic kidney disease develops and kidney function declines, this filtration process becomes significantly less efficient. Waste accumulates in your bloodstream instead of being eliminated. Fluids that should be excreted through urine begin to build up in your tissues. And minerals that you consume daily in ordinary food, minerals you've been handling perfectly well your entire life, begin accumulating to dangerous levels. This is where the real problem emerges. 2 specific substances become genuinely dangerous once your kidneys can no longer clear them effectively. The first is potassium. Potassium is actually essential for life. It helps regulate your heart's rhythm, facilitates nerve signal transmission, and enables muscle contraction. In someone with healthy kidney function, the kidneys perform a constant balancing act. They measure circulating potassium levels and continuously adjust how much gets reabsorbed into the blood and how much gets excreted in urine. This system maintains perfect equilibrium, but when kidney function drops significantly, that finely tuned system breaks down completely. Potassium begins accumulating in the bloodstream. The medical condition is called hyperkalemia, and its consequences are not gradual or subtle. Elevated potassium directly interferes with the electrical signals that coordinate your heart's beating. It disrupts the precise timing between heartbeats. At severe levels, it causes dangerous irregular rhythms, and in the most critical cases, the heart simply stops. This is why nephrologists, kidney specialists, treat elevated potassium with such urgency and intensity. It represents a genuine life-threatening emergency. The second substance is oxalate. Oxalate is a naturally occurring compound found in many plant foods, particularly in leafy green vegetables. In someone whose kidneys function normally, oxalate is filtered out routinely and excreted in urine without complications. But in someone whose kidneys have already lost significant capacity, oxalate behaves very differently inside the body. Oxalate combines with calcium to form tiny crystals, calcium oxalate crystals. Imagine microscopic sharp fragments suspended in your bloodstream. When these crystals travel through the delicate filtering channels inside your kidneys, the tiny tubules responsible for determining what your body keeps and what it discards, they can scrape, scar, and ultimately block those fragile passageways. The result is inflammation, accelerated damage to kidney tissue, and in some cases, acute kidney injury that develops rapidly. For someone whose kidney function is already compromised, even a single generous serving of a high oxalate vegetable can trigger a measurable and harmful spike in blood oxalate levels. This isn't theoretical concern, it happens in clinical practice. Now that you understand the foundational mechanisms, let's talk about what to eat and what to avoid. Zucchini stands out as one of the most valuable vegetables for kidney health, and yet most people barely recognize its benefits. It's mild, it's soft, it doesn't have the vibrant color of a beet or the superfood mystique of kale. Most grocery shoppers walk past it without a second glance. But for kidneys that are struggling, zucchini may represent one of the most powerful supportive foods available. Here's why this matters. Most common vegetables contain significant potassium content. Zucchini is a striking exception to this pattern. A 100-gram serving contains approximately 140 to 150 milligrams of potassium. That's remarkably low compared to virtually every other vegetable option available. For someone managing kidney disease and carefully tracking potassium intake, this means they can eat a satisfying, filling portion of zucchini without triggering the potassium surge that strains the heart and overwhelms whatever kidney filtration remains functional. Beyond potassium, zucchini contains virtually no sodium. This matters profoundly. Elevated sodium intake pulls water out of cells and into the bloodstream, which raises your total blood volume and creates pressure on the delicate capillaries inside the kidney's filtering units, structures called glomeruli. Every time you choose zucchini over higher sodium options, you're actively reducing that hydraulic stress and protecting those vulnerable vessels. But zucchini offers something even more remarkable. It contains soluble fiber, specifically a compound called pectin. When pectin reaches your intestines, it absorbs water and transforms into a gel-like substance that coats the intestinal wall. This gel functions like a molecular net, trapping metabolic byproducts including urea and preventing them from being reabsorbed through the intestinal wall back into circulation. Without this intervention, those waste products would re-enter the bloodstream and force already struggling kidneys to filter them repeatedly. Zucchini helps break that exhausting cycle at its beginning. Preparation makes a meaningful difference. Steam zucchini for 5 to 7 minutes rather than frying it. High-heat frying and added oils introduce unnecessary fats, damage water-soluble nutrients, and create oxidative compounds that generate additional metabolic stress. Lightly steamed, zucchini preserves its fiber benefit, maintains its potassium advantage, and plays its supportive role gently in your digestive system. Red bell peppers represent the second protective vegetable, and their story contrasts sharply with their close botanical relatives. At first glance, red bell peppers and tomatoes seem like natural partners. Both are vibrant red, both belong to the nightshade family, both appear regularly in cooking, but from a kidney health perspective, they're fundamentally different. While tomatoes carry a significant potassium burden, red bell peppers rank among the lowest potassium vegetables available. That single distinction makes them valuable. What truly distinguishes red bell peppers is their extraordinary concentration of vitamin C. Gram for gram, they contain roughly 3 times the vitamin C found in an orange. In the context of kidney and tissue health, vitamin C performs something critically important. It regenerates vitamin E. Vitamin E is a fat-soluble antioxidant that resides in cell membranes, the protective sheath surrounding every cell in your body, including the delicate capillary cells of your kidneys' filtering units. When free radicals, the damaging molecules produced by oxidative stress or metabolic activity, attack these membranes, vitamin E sacrifices itself to neutralize them. But once vitamin E neutralizes a free radical, it becomes depleted. Vitamin C steps in and restores it, renewing its capacity to protect again. This renewal cycle is absolutely essential for maintaining kidney tissue integrity over time. Red bell peppers also contain powerful antioxidant pigments called carotenoids, which create their vibrant color. These compounds function like a cleanup crew, targeting and neutralizing inflammatory molecules that accumulate in aging tissues and contribute to scarring of kidney filtering units. This anti-inflammatory effect helps slow chronic kidney disease progression over time. For maximum benefit, consume red bell peppers raw or very lightly cooked. A brief stir-fry of 2 to 3 minutes over high heat is sufficient. Vitamin C is water-soluble and heat-sensitive, so prolonged cooking destroys it. Pair bell peppers with a small amount of olive oil. Several protective compounds they contain are fat-soluble, meaning they're absorbed far more effectively when consumed with healthy fat. Cabbage completes our trio of kidney-protective vegetables, and it works through a mechanism quite different from either zucchini or red pepper. If zucchini protects by what it lacks and red pepper protects by what it contains, cabbage protects through its effects on a broader systemic relationship called the gut-kidney axis. Research increasingly demonstrates a bidirectional relationship between intestinal health and kidney function. When the gut lining becomes inflamed or too permeable, toxins that should be eliminated through stool instead seep through the intestinal wall and re-enter the bloodstream. The kidneys then bear the burden of filtering what the gut failed to contain. Damaged gut health means harder working, more stressed kidneys. Cabbage directly addresses this cycle. It contains sulforaphane, a sulfur-based compound that helps clear harmful bacteria from your gut, reduces intestinal inflammation, and strengthens the integrity of your gut lining. When your digestive environment is healthy, less metabolic waste reaches the bloodstream, and your kidneys can finally work at a sustainable pace. Cabbage also provides substantial insoluble fiber, which acts as a physical sweeper through your colon, binding waste products, adding bulk to stool, and moving toxins out of your body before they can be reabsorbed. This is particularly significant for kidney patients because constipation, common in this population, measurably raises creatinine levels. When waste sits in your intestines too long, it gets recirculated rather than truly eliminated. Advanced kidney disease often creates metabolic acidosis, where blood becomes too acidic because kidneys can no longer remove acids from normal metabolism. The result is persistent fatigue, muscle pain, and disrupted sleep. Cabbage is an alkaline food. When metabolized, it provides compounds that help neutralize excess acidity and restore your body's pH balance, creating conditions where cells can function and repair more effectively. When preparing cabbage for kidney health, never add salt. Sodium is the kidney's primary adversary. It drives fluid retention and raises pressure on glomerular vessels. Season instead with garlic, ginger, herbs, or lemon juice. Avoid overcooking. Cabbage that retains a slight crunch preserves its volatile sulfur compounds, the precise molecules responsible for its protective effects. Steam or boil it briefly, just 5 to 7 minutes. Now we reach the critical part, and I want your complete attention here. The three vegetables we're about to discuss are celebrated throughout popular health culture, and for people with normal kidney function, they genuinely can be healthy choices. But for someone whose filtration capacity has already declined, they carry real and serious risks that most people never hear about. Spinach represents the first of these hidden dangers, and it's frequently recommended to people who should absolutely avoid it. Spinach appears in smoothie recipes promoted by health influencers, fills salad bowls in restaurants, and appears in meal plans worldwide. It's genuinely rich in iron, folate, and vitamin K. For someone with healthy kidneys, it can be part of genuinely nutritious eating. But for someone with kidney disease, spinach represents a serious and underappreciated danger. The threat extends beyond potassium to something more insidious. Spinach is one of the highest oxalate foods in existence. When spinach reaches your digestive system, its oxalate content rapidly binds with calcium circulating in your blood, forming calcium oxalate crystals. These crystals are small, numerous, and razor-sharp. When they enter the kidney's filtration channels, they behave like fragments of broken glass moving through narrow pipes. In someone with healthy kidney function, these crystals are typically filtered and excreted routinely. But when kidneys are already compromised, when the glomerular filtration rate has dropped and tubules are already stressed, that self-clearing capacity is dramatically reduced. Crystals accumulate in kidney tissue, they scratch delicate tubule walls, they trigger inflammation, they cause scarring. In severe cases, a large oxalate load can precipitate acute kidney injury in someone whose baseline function was already fragile. If you love leafy greens and want to continue eating them safely, replace spinach with lower oxalate alternatives like lettuce or cabbage. Beetroot is our second cautionary vegetable, and its story involves a dangerous misconception. Beetroot has built a powerful reputation in wellness culture. Its deep crimson color suggests vitality and richness. It's frequently recommended for boosting energy, improving athletic performance, and specifically for building healthy blood and combating anemia that often accompanies kidney disease. That final claim is particularly problematic because it leads many kidney patients to actively seek beetroot as a therapeutic food precisely when they should be avoiding it. Beetroot ranks among the most mineral-dense vegetables in the plant kingdom. Its potassium content is high, and when impaired kidneys cannot clear it efficiently, blood potassium climbs with all the cardiac risks we discussed earlier. Beetroot also contains significant phosphorus. When phosphorus accumulates in the blood, your body attempts to balance it by pulling calcium out of bones and teeth and releasing it into the bloodstream. This disrupts bone density over time, a real concern for older adults, and simultaneously drives calcium into blood vessel walls, causing arterial calcification and stiffening. The result is reduced blood flow through the already delicate kidney capillaries, making filtration harder and making it harder for tissues to receive needed oxygen. Beetroot contains natural nitrates that dilate blood vessels, which is beneficial in healthy adults. But in someone with kidney disease, this vasodilator effect can cause unpredictable blood pressure swings. For kidneys already dealing with compromised filtration, sudden pressure fluctuations are like waves battering a weakened seawall. Every surge does incremental structural damage. If anemia concerns you, and it often should in kidney disease, work with your physician to find appropriate solutions. Medical interventions exist specifically designed for this situation. Relying on beetroot as a nutritional remedy while assuming its risks are worth the theoretical benefits is a dangerous trade-off the evidence does not support. Celery juice completes our cautionary trio, representing a wellness trend that can backfire significantly for kidney patients. Over recent years, raw celery juice has become one of the most widely promoted health trends. Claims range from clearing skin and aiding digestion to detoxifying the body. Millions of people begin mornings with a tall glass, believing they're making a powerful health choice. For someone with kidney disease, this habit deserves serious reconsideration. Celery has an unusual characteristic. Its natural sodium content is relatively high compared to most plant foods. When eaten in whole form, chopped and cooked, the fiber slows sodium absorption and the digestive process moderates its bloodstream entry. But when you juice a large bunch of celery and drink the liquid concentrate, you're receiving the sodium load of substantial celery quantity in a single rapid absorption. That sodium causes fluid retention, expands blood volume, and raises blood pressure, all of which directly stress kidney filtration units. The potassium issue is equally serious. Juicing concentrates the potassium from a large volume of celery into a small glass. For healthy kidneys, this might be processed harmlessly. For impaired kidney function, concentrated celery juice delivers a sudden substantial potassium load that kidneys simply cannot process quickly enough. The result can be acute blood potassium elevation with everything that implies for cardiac stability. Without its fiber, minerals rush into the bloodstream with no buffering. The digestive system's natural pacing is gone. Instead of shared elimination burden, the entire mineral load falls on kidneys at once. If you want to include celery in your diet, use small amounts as a flavoring ingredient in cooked soups or stews. Heat reduces potassium content somewhat, and fiber remains intact. But if your kidney function is already compromised, treat raw celery juice not as a health ritual, but as a risk, and avoid it accordingly. Let me leave you with 3 foundational principles that extend beyond any specific food list and shape the broader philosophy of protecting kidney function through dietary choices. First, sodium is the silent enemy of the glomerulus. The tiny filtering units inside your kidneys, the glomeruli, are surrounded by delicate capillaries operating under carefully regulated pressure. Salt disrupts that regulation completely. When sodium intake is high, blood volume increases, pressure rises, and capillary walls experience mechanical stress they weren't designed to sustain. Develop genuine sensitivity to sodium content in everything you eat, not just table salt but hidden sodium in sauces, condiments, canned goods, and processed foods. Season with herbs, spices, garlic, and ginger. Make steaming and boiling your primary cooking methods. Second, choose vegetables that hydrate without overloading. Not all vegetables carry the same mineral burden. Prioritize options with naturally high water content and low potassium like zucchini, cucumber, and white radish. These help maintain gentle fluid flow through kidneys while providing nutrition without mineral accumulation risk. Think of them as soft partners for a system needing to work efficiently without being overwhelmed. Third, learn to read your body's language. Swollen ankles at day's end, deeper sock impressions on evening skin, metallic or unusual tastes in your mouth, breath that has changed quality, fatigue that feels different and heavier than normal rest can resolve. These are not random inconveniences, they're signals. They're your kidneys speaking in the only language they have. When you notice these signs, don't dismiss them. Revisit your diet. Note what you've been eating in preceding days. Contact your physician. The earlier you respond, the more options remain available. Everything shared today is based on well-established nutritional science offered for educational and preventive purposes. It's general guidance meant to help you understand food and kidney health relationships. It's not a substitute for personalized medical care. Kidney disease exists on a spectrum. Early-stage chronic kidney disease carries entirely different dietary parameters than stage 4 or 5 disease. Someone undergoing dialysis has different nutritional requirements than someone managing through medication and lifestyle changes. These distinctions matter profoundly. No general video can account for them. If you've been diagnosed with kidney disease at any stage, work with your nephrologist and a registered dietitian specializing in renal nutrition before making significant dietary changes. They will interpret your specific lab results, your creatinine, your GFR, your potassium and phosphorus levels, and design a plan genuinely right for you. This is not a situation where one size fits all applies. I genuinely believe protecting your kidneys is not about deprivation or fear or eating less or enjoying food less. It's about becoming smarter and more intentional about understanding what your body actually needs at this particular stage of your life and giving it that with care and consistency. Your kidneys don't need miracles, they need allies. Zucchini, red bell pepper, and cabbage are humble, accessible, inexpensive foods that become true allies when chosen thoughtfully and prepared with care. Avoiding spinach, beetroot, and concentrated celery juice isn't punishment. It's respect for organs working tirelessly every single hour of every day to keep you healthy. Small, consistent choices made with knowledge and intention compound over time. They shape how your kidneys age. They influence how you feel. They affect the quality and independence of the years ahead. That's why I do this work, and I'm genuinely grateful you've spent this time with me. Pay attention to what your body is telling you. Talk to your doctor. Remember that every thoughtful meal you prepare is an act of care for yourself and for the organs that make your life possible. Take care of yourselves,